Today we're extending the rate of change and talking about independent versus dependent variables. Okay, this should be a review for you from science, so it's transferring now into math. Let's look at an example. On your cell phone bill, you're charged 25 cents for each text that you send. Okay, so we want to know, is the number of texts sent or the amount of your bill going to be independent? Then one that's independent is the number of text that you send, okay? The more text I send, the higher my bill is. Therefore, my bill is dependent upon the number of texts. Let's look at another one. You drive at a rate of R miles per hour for 4 hours, okay? So which variables are independent? The distance you drive or the hours that you drive? Okay, the more you drive, the more hours that you drive, the further you're going to go, which means that the distance is dependent on the hours, which are independent. Okay, let's look at two examples from the previous video. When we look at this, they were asking us to find the constant rate of change, which we knew was 30 over 1. 30 meaning our miles over our time in hours, okay? The dependent variable is the distance. This is our dependent variable, while our independent variable is the time. So when we write a constant rate of change, we always write the dv over the iv. IV is always supporting the dv on the bottom, okay? So if you have the IV, you always put it in the bottom and support that dv with it, okay? That's one way you can remember that. Okay, they also asked us, what does 0, 0 represent? Well, it represents that in time, you're going 0 hours, which means you'd go 0 in your distance. At 1 hour, you would drive 30 miles. So your hours are going to be what you put in first, and then your output would be your distance, okay? You're going to independently drive a certain amount of time, and therefore your distance would then be dependent upon that time. Let's look at another example. The table in the graph shows the hourly charge to rent a bicycle at 2 different stores. When we did this in class, we came up with super cycles as being our, for every 1 hour, it's costing us $8. So $8 for 1 hour. While pedals rentals, if we took $24 over 2, it was costing us $12 per hour. So we know that super cycles is the better of the two. However, if we look at this, we want to know which is the IV. Okay, so in a table, your time is going to be your independent variable, just like it was on the graph. Your dependent variable is going to be the cost. So your y-axis is always your dependent variable, and your x-axis is always your independent. And this is always an x over a y table. Okay, so make sure that you have, it's always the dependent variable is always over your independent variable, okay? And that's how we write slope or your rate of change. Oop, I need to forget my of. Boom, carrot mark. Okay, rate of change. All right, and that's all I've got for you today. See you next time.